We have to start with the Washington racial slurs, as Eddie McGee likes to call them, but we'll call them the Washington D.C. football team for right now. And I just feel like right now, DC, that football team is just, whew, they have opened up a can of worms. I mean, we've talked about them changing the name of the team from a racial slur to something else. I guess they'll figure that out at a later date. And now there were, I believe, 15 women that came forward with allegations of sexual assault that worked within the organization. I believe 2 journalists were also included in that report in the Washington Post. Um, I mean, Nicole kind of touched on this a little bit at the end of our interview where, we talk about being a woman in sports and how it's so different that men don't think about what it's like if you're a woman and you're doing a story and you ask a coach, right? Or you ask an athlete like for their number. And it's just like you want to carefully word it because you don't want someone to think that, that you're hitting on them or that, you want to talk about something other than the job or the story that you're working on. And so, you read these stories about the women that were inside of this Washington, D.C. football team organization, and it's horrific, but it's also echoing the same thing that I've heard from other women in the sports industry. So, just to kind of get you guys' thoughts on it, Eddie, you grew up, watching this team. What were your thoughts when you saw this story kind of come out?
All right, so my initial reaction, honestly, was laughter. Like,
Mm-hmm.
just because to me, man, it's karma. It's
Mm-hmm.
all at the end of the day. What happens in the dark comes out in the light. And for the Washington racial slurs, this is their, what did Malcolm X say? This is their chickens coming home to roost. So like, I'm happy that, honestly, I'm happy that it's happening because this is the forced restart and forced, um, rebrand or whatever that this team needs. And honestly, I think that, and I think a lot of, I know my family, right? My family, we're all fans of the team. We all feel like this is, time for an ownership change. We've been wanting one. And I think that the buck starts and stops with Dan Snyder. He's the leader and owner of that team, and all of this is a result of his leadership. And he needs to go. Like, dude, sexual and verbal harassment of women in the workplace. Your team name is blatantly racist. Like, and you, as the owner, have gone on record multiple times defending and saying you would never change it. And the only reason you're changing it now is because sponsors have put your foot to the fire and are forcing you to change it. Morally, if anything, you're not the guy. Like you're just not the guy to lead this team. And we have sucked under your regime anyway. Under your ownership, we have sucked like bad. So like if this isn't the cause for him to go, I don't know
Eddie is
what
hurt.
is.
He
I don't know
said he
what it is,
sucked
man. But
bad.
awful, awful. But in respect, and on a serious note, in respect to what you just talked about in regards to women in the workplace being harassed, like that's not funny. That's not a joke.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very serious. And we talked about this offline and how, you know, that dynamic between whether it's reporter, whether it's host, whatever professional female in the industry, and they're pursuing, professional relationships, trying to either, you know, um, grab a story or whatever the case may be, and that hesitancy of wanting to or asking for the person's phone number, email, etc. That exchange of contact information, man, that's whack. That's really sad, and that's I mean, we talked about it, and you were saying how it often gets perceived from you as okay, like if I give her my number, then this is my window to call her and text her
Right.
and try to try to pursue it like that shouldn't happen. It's just
Yeah.
really here's what it is, right? And I'm gonna pass this to Felder because I know he'll be a lot more eloquent than I am being right now. But here's the deal: Men who are in a professional setting and understand that the lady across from me, the woman across from me, asking for my contact information, like that she's not coming on to you, right? You understand that, and if you still take that opportunity to be a douche, to be a jerk, to be a perv, and try and hit on or spin that request for your contact information into some type of sexual relationship, like take a seat, dog.
I think
Like
some men really I think they really don't get it though. Like in their minds for some reason. And maybe like I've told you guys stories just like in, years ago, like when I first started, it was awkward for me to ask for like contact information because there would be people after games that would slide into my DMs. That makes me feel awkward when I'm trying to do my job and I have to cover a team, or I have to cover like a game, and it's just like, okay, like I don't want to, like at one point I don't even want to make eye contact because I don't even want you to think that, that there's something else going on here. Like I just need to do my job, do it well, and get out of here. And I think for some reason, just like you said, like there are men out there that should understand, all men should understand in their heads that, okay, if this woman is doing her job and she's asking for my contact information, it should be strictly professional. But for some reason, I don't understand why a lot of men don't get that. And it confuses me.
let me tell you, because a lot of these guys have this um, entitled air about them, right? They think that I am who I am. I play this sport. I am this lead reporter, this lead host, this whatever, this person of influence, this person of power, so to speak. And everyone wants me. It's all about me, and it's all about me, and I want to, use my prestige to whatever I feel like is going to benefit me at the time, whether it's a sexual relationship or whatever it is. And so, like that mentality has been so like ingrained in society and pushed onto men as acceptable when in
Mm-hmm.
actuality it's really perverted and ridiculous.
Yep. You right about
It's
that.
I don't think it's even a sports thing. I think it's a achievement, and if you make enough money or you win this, then
Mm-hmm.
women become your prize. And I think that's a thing that we have to do, work with our boys. We don't need to teach girls how to protect themselves from being taken advantage of. We need to teach our boys how to be real humans, not just be
Mm.
sex animals. Like it shouldn't be a matter. Like I don't care if a girl wears a short skirt. That shouldn't be the issue. The issue should be your son taking, control of himself.